It started with a Rolex. Not even mine. Her boss gave it to her as a thank you for staying late during the quarterly rush. A sleek, silver Oyster Perpetual with a blue dial. She showed it to me in the parking lot of our apartment, the box cradled in her palm like a newborn, her voice floating somewhere between casual and smug. "He just appreciates hard work," she said, running her fingers over the face of it like it was made of moonlight. I nodded, but something shifted in my gut. That small, quiet shift, like the first time you realize your keys aren't in your pocket. You're not panicked yet, but you know something's off. We'd been married 4 years at that point, together since college. Back when dates meant dollar tacos and talking until 2 a.m. in beat-up cars parked near the lake. We used to dream together, little things like a fixer-upper house, a dog, maybe a kid if we felt brave enough. But somewhere along the way, those dreams turned into her scrolling Zillow for mansions in cities we couldn't afford. She started using phrases like manifesting wealth and aligning with abundance. At first, I thought it was harmless. Everyone has Pinterest boards they'll never realize. But it changed her. She got obsessed with lifestyle influencers. Women in perfectly curated outfits, sipping wine on marble countertops. I caught her editing photos of our plays to make it look more expensive before posting them. She bought fake designer bags and told people they were real. Then the real designer bags started showing up, along with new shoes and trips I hadn't booked. I work in IT, freelance mostly. Decent income, but I'm not rich. She worked as an executive assistant at a finance firm, and from what I knew, her salary couldn't support her spending. When I asked, she just said she was finally treating herself like she deserved. That phrase stuck with me. Deserved. She started getting short with me. Said I wasn't ambitious enough. That I was comfortable with being average. She'd say it like it was a fact, not an insult. But it landed like a slap every time. And then came the dinner. We were at this swanky rooftop place downtown. The kind of place that charges $25 for a salad and doesn't even give you bread. I was watching her talk to some guy at the bar. Tall, tan, Rolex wearing, of course. When I heard him say, "He's your husband?" She didn't answer right away. Just sipped her wine and looked at me like she didn't recognize me. That night, in the car, I asked her if she was happy. She didn't respond for a long time. Then she said, "I think we just grew apart. No tears. No fight. Just cold." I slept on the couch that night. A week later, she asked for a break. She moved out 2 days after that, into a luxury condo downtown. Claimed a friend from work, needed a roommate. But when I saw her tag in a photo with that same Rolex guy, arm around her waist, champagne in hand, I knew. She filed for divorce the next week. It was a clean break on paper. No kids. We had a prenup she insisted on back when I inherited a small property from my grandfather. She thought it made her look fair, like she wasn't after anything. Funny how it all played out. But the emotional wreckage? That was something else. I stayed in our apartment, mostly because it was cheaper and also because I couldn't imagine starting over. I had a cat, Ollie, and a routine. Wake up, work, microwave meals, sleep. Repeat. Friends tried to get me to go out, but I wasn't there yet. I was still dissecting every moment, every word she'd ever said. Wondering when the shift happened. When love became leverage. When I became not enough. 2 months later, I saw her on Instagram. New guy. Bentley. Brunches. A quote under her post. Never settle for less than luxury. Know your worth. Add tax. I won't lie. Something in me broke a little. Not because I wanted her back, but because I'd been used. I felt like the warm-up act before the main event. Like she practiced being a wife with me until someone richer came along. But something else started to creep in. Not anger exactly. Just clarity. She thought I was done. Thought I was defeated. She didn't know I'd started rebuilding quietly. Not for her. For me. I met Darren during a project in August. He ran a tech startup that needed back-end development for a new app. It was just supposed to be a 6-week freelance gig. But something clicked, professionally, I mean. The guy had energy, vision, but zero clue how to structure code or scale system. I helped him out. He offered me an equity stake. I took it. Fast forward 4 months, and we were in talks with a venture capital group. By December, we'd secured funding. My equity meant I now had more in savings than I'd made in 3 years of freelancing. I didn't flaunt it. Didn't change my car. Still wore hoodies and beat-up sneakers. But I bought a condo. A quiet one. View of the water. 2 bedrooms. No Instagram post. Just a glass of scotch on my empty balcony the night I moved in. I started hitting the gym again. Cleaned up my diet. My therapist told me I was processing and recentering. I called it getting my damn self back. The twist came in January. I was at a friend's engagement party, sipping whiskey, standing near the fire pit with a couple mutual friends when I heard a laugh I hadn't heard in 6 months. Her. She walked in like she owned the place. Same look, flawless makeup, heels, a purse that probably cost more than my old car. But the guy on her arm wasn't Rolex. It was a new one. Younger. Too young. Looked like he sold supplements on TikTok. I don't think she saw me at first. Not until later, when I was helping bring out drinks from the kitchen. Our eyes met across the counter. She froze. I smiled. Polite. Nothing more. She made her way over a few minutes later. Alone. You look good, she said. Thanks. You too. She glanced around. I didn't know you and Nate were still close. I shrugged. We reconnected a few months ago. He helped me with the condo search. Her brows lifted. You bought? Yeah. Pause. That's great. Another pause. She was waiting for me to ask about her. I didn't. You dating anyone? She finally asked. I looked her straight in the eyes. I'm dating peace. She laughed, like it was charming. But her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. And I knew in that moment, I wasn't the one who lost. The engagement party should have ended there, but life doesn't wrap things up neatly. She texted me the next morning. It was really nice seeing you. You've changed in a good way. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I put my phone down and took Ollie for a walk in a stroller. Yes, I'm that guy now. Judge all you want. He's 14 and arthritic. That cat's been through hell with me. I didn't reply, but she didn't stop there. 3 days later, another message. I don't know why I'm writing this, but I've been thinking about us a lot lately. I miss talking to you. No apology. No ownership. Just a casual hey, let me slide back into your piece like I didn't tear it apart. I wasn't angry. Just fascinated. The version of her I'd married had vanished long before the divorce. This new version? She was a chameleon. She adapted to whatever man she needed next. Rolex guy probably got tired of her, or figured out she was more ambition than loyalty. TikTok dude? I'd seen the way he kept checking his phone at the party. He wasn't staying long. She saw me now with new eyes. Success made me shiny again. She just didn't realize I wasn't the same man she left. Around February, my company launched our beta product. It gained traction fast, faster than we expected. Suddenly we had press, podcast interviews, a piece in TechCrunch that casually mentioned my name and role. I didn't share it on socials, but mutuals did. Guess who liked one of those posts within 24 hours? Yeah, her. Still didn't reply. But I started seeing signs she wasn't doing as well as her Instagram claimed. Her captions got vague. Less champagne, more quotes about growth and self-love. I noticed she quietly removed photos of her latest boyfriend. Her tag post dropped off. That perfect, curated life was slipping. I got confirmation a few weeks later through someone at her old job. Apparently, after the divorce, she tried to float by on social media influencing, fashion tips, beauty brand sponsorships, etc. But the following didn't grow like she hoped. She burned bridges at her firm. Word was she was looking for another guy with money, but her reputation had started to catch up with her. That's the thing about gold diggers. They think the supply is endless. It's not. Some men catch on. Others have smarter friends. Then came the unexpected knock. Literally. It was a rainy Saturday. I was cleaning up the kitchen, music on low, when I opened the door to find her standing there. No umbrella. Just a soaked trench coat and a tired face. Hey, she said, her voice thin. Can we talk? Every instinct told me to say no, but part of me wanted to hear what she had to say. I stepped aside. She didn't sit at first. Just stood near the window, arms crossed, damp hair clinging to her face. I know I'm the last person you want to see, she said. I didn't argue. I messed up, she continued, voice cracking slightly. I thought I wanted this big, flashy life. And for a while it felt good. I felt wanted, desired, important. She finally sat down, on the edge of the couch like she didn't belong there. But it wasn't real. None of it was. The men, the gifts, the compliments. They all came with a price. They wanted something in return: control, sex, access, or just the illusion of having me. I said nothing. Just let her talk. And the worst part is, I had something real. With you. And I threw it away. Silence. She looked up at me, eyes red-rimmed, but dry. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just needed to say it. I took a long breath. Let's sit for a beat. Then I said, thank you for saying that. Her shoulders relaxed just slightly. But I've moved on, I added, gently but firmly. Not just from you. From needing validation through someone else's version of success. I've built something for myself, and I like who I am now. She nodded, almost like she'd prepared herself for that. I understand. Then, quietly, I'm scared. It came out small, like a child. It caught me off guard. I didn't comfort her. Instead, I asked, are you scared of being alone? Or of having to finally rely on yourself? She didn't answer, But the silence was enough. She left soon after. Didn't ask for anything. Didn't cry. Just slipped out the door the way she came. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. 2 weeks later, I got a text from a mutual friend. "Hey, just a heads up. Your ex's friend Jenna has been asking about you. Said she's trying to help reconnect you two." I laughed. Actually laughed out loud. When one door closes, she sends in a friend through the window. I decided to block her on everything. Not out of spite, just peace. And then, karma delivered the final touch. I was invited to a private investor mixer in May. Small crowd. Big names. Darren and I showed up, suited and sharp. I was chatting with a woman from a venture capital firm, sharp, funny, a former coder herself, when I noticed movement near the bar. Her. Again. She was with an older man, at least mid-60s, trying hard to look half that. He was clearly wealthy, diamond watch, custom suit, the works. She looked drained, pretty still, but there was a hollowness in her eyes. She was playing a part again. She saw me. I gave her a nod and turned back to my conversation. Later that night, as people were filtering out, I caught her watching me from the valet. We didn't speak. She knew. After that investor mixer, I didn't expect to hear from her again. But gold diggers don't go quietly. They pivot. A week later, I got an email. Not from her directly. This time it was from a law firm. One I didn't recognize. Subject: inquiry regarding potential asset review. I blinked. Opened it. Read it again. The email was thinly veiled. Professional tone, but underneath it, I could hear the undertone loud and clear. They were reviewing certain financial entitlements related to a dissolved marital union and newly acquired assets. My hand actually twitched. She was fishing. Let me be clear. We had a prenup. She signed it before we even got married. She'd insisted, remember? Said she wasn't after anything and wanted to prove she was independent. Ironically, that piece of paper was the only reason I didn't spiral when she left. But now that the headlines and LinkedIn updates and whispers in mutual circles made it clear I was doing well, suddenly she was reconsidering the paperwork. I forwarded the email to my lawyer, Dean, a soft-spoken man who looked like he never raised his voice but could take a deposition apart like a machine. He called me the next morning. "She's bluffing," he said calmly. "There's no angle here, no claim. But if she pushes, we'll respond, firmly." That's when I decided I was done playing defense. Revenge, if it's real, doesn't always come with fire and fury. Sometimes it's a slow, quiet reckoning, like gravity catching up to someone who's been floating too long on hot air. I didn't go after her legally. I didn't need to, but I did something subtle. I agreed to speak at a panel at a local startup summit. Small crowd, mostly young entrepreneurs and business students. I wasn't even headlining, but it got recorded, and a few days later, a short clip went viral on TikTok and Instagram. Not because of me, but because someone stitched it to a clip of my ex-wife doing one of her old luxury mindset reels from back in her influencer days. The contrast was brutal. On one side, me talking calmly about discipline, failure, building something with no guarantees. On the other, her spinning in slow motion with champagne, captioned, "Never settle for less than a yacht." The internet did its thing. The comments were savage. This aged like milk. She left the coder, and now he's the CEO. Wild. Gold digger to ghosted. I didn't post any of it. Didn't engage. But I saw her account go private a few days later. Then disappear completely. I thought that would feel satisfying. It didn't. Not the way I expected. You learn something strange after someone tries to break you and fails. There's a weird kind of peace. Like you finally understand why the storm came. It was never about destroying you. It was about clearing space. That summer, I reconnected with someone I'd known for years. Jenna. Not her Jenna, the friend who tried to spy on me, but a different Jenna from college. We'd taken the same psychology class, sat next to each other in study groups. Back then, I had a crush but never acted on it. She'd moved away after graduation. She'd seen one of the articles about my startup and reached out just to, "Hey, proud of you. It's been a long time." We got coffee, caught up, laughed about old professors and bad dorm food. She'd been through her own wreck of a relationship, a guy who ghosted her 3 weeks before their wedding. We didn't trauma bond exactly, but there was something grounding about being around someone who didn't care about image, followers, or curated lifestyles. Our second date was homemade tacos on her porch. No filters, no phones, just real. It hit me that night. I hadn't felt that safe in years. In August, I got a final email from Dean. Her legal representation had backed off entirely. No formal motion, no follow-up. Apparently, she'd taken a career break and was now trying to rebrand as a mindset coach. Dean attached a screenshot of her new site. The tagline? Helping women level up through high-value relationships. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my coffee. It wasn't my job to bring her down. Life would do that on its own. But just to be safe, I forwarded that site to someone I knew at a podcast that specialized in exposing online frauds and MLM influencers. A little nudge. 3 weeks later, they did a feature titled Luxury Lies, When Lifestyle Coaching Becomes Grifting. Her name wasn't in the title, but her image, blurred slightly, was unmistakable. They had receipts, screenshots of deleted posts, reviews from people who'd paid for her mentorship and got nothing but vague advice and generic affirmations. She tried to clap back in comments. Got ratioed in record time. I didn't gloat. Okay, maybe I smiled. Once. But mostly I felt done. Whatever I'd once loved in her was gone. Replaced by someone chasing status like it would make her whole. Someone who saw relationships as ladders and didn't realize she'd stepped off the only stable rung. I didn't want her to suffer. I just didn't want her in my head anymore. And now, she wasn't. Fall rolled in with a kind of gentleness I hadn't felt in years. The heat broke. The mornings cooled. The air smelled like dry leaves and fresh starts. There's something healing about watching the world let go of what it no longer needs. I guess that was me too. Jenna and I had been seeing each other steadily. No games. No timelines. No masks. She saw me, really saw me. Not as some potential or paycheck or performance. Just me. That alone felt like wealth. One evening, we were at my place, cooking together, real food, not takeout or frozen meals. Ollie curled up in a spot by the window, tail flicking as he watched the sky go orange and pink. Jenna was laughing at how badly I chopped onions when my phone buzzed on the counter. I ignored it. Then it buzzed again, and again. I finally picked it up. Unknown number. And then a text came through. You ruined me. Hope it was worth it. No name. But I didn't need one. I locked my phone, slid it face down, and went back to stirring the pot like it never happened. Some people say revenge is sweet. But honestly, peace is sweeter. Because that message didn't rattle me. It didn't even register as important. It was just noise from a chapter that was already closed. A month later, I got a call from a mutual friend, Mike. He sounded hesitant. Hey man, weird question. Did you know your ex is living with her parents again? I didn't respond right away. Apparently she's been going through it, he added. Some brand she partnered with is suing her for breach of contract. The podcast thing really hit her reputation. And the guy she was dating after you? He bounced. Took her car with him. Turns out he was leasing it under her name. I let out a low breath. Not from pity. Just acknowledgement. I didn't feel joy at her downfall. I didn't toast it like some victory. But I did feel a kind of finality. She wasn't my problem anymore. I tried. I'd loved her when she had nothing. And she left when she saw a shinier version of life. She thought wealth would save her, but she never learned how to build it. She only knew how to chase it in other people. That's the difference. I didn't inherit the life I had now. I created it. Quietly. Brick by brick. When she was gone and the dust had settled, I was still standing. That's what real success looks like. 6 months after that text, Jenna and I took a trip. Just us. Small cabin by a lake, away from the city. No Wi-Fi. No social media. Just old books, strong coffee, and slow mornings. One night, by the fire, she asked me something that stuck. Do you think you would have gotten here if she hadn't left? I stared at the flames for a while. No, I said. I think part of me needed to lose her to find myself. I didn't know how much of me I was silencing to keep the peace. How much potential I'd buried because I didn't think I deserved more than being tolerated. Jenna nodded. She got it. She didn't break me. I added. She just cracked the shell. What I did after, that was all mine. There was a long, warm silence. The fire popped. Somewhere in the woods, an owl hooted once and fell quiet. I leaned back, looked up at the stars. I don't think I ever believed in karma before, but I do now. Not in a mystical way. More like, if you move with integrity, eventually the world meets you with it. Not right away, not loudly, but in time. Sometimes the best revenge is simply this. Living well, laughing softly, sleeping soundly. A few weeks later, I got one last email. A simple subject line. No hard feelings. There was no body. No text. Just a single attachment. A photo of us from 5 years ago. One of those blurry, spontaneous ones someone else took on a beach trip. We were barefoot, sunburned, happy. For a second, I felt a wave of something I couldn't name. Not regret. Not longing. Just memory. I deleted it. Not out of anger, but because I didn't need it anymore. I made peace with the fact that not all love is meant to last. Some of it is meant to teach you what not to settle for, who not to become, what truly matters when the surface cracks and all that's left is what's underneath. My ex-wife was a gold digger. She thought she'd struck gold when she found me. What she didn't realize was I was still in the process of mining it. And now, I am the damn treasure. Don't forget to subscribe for more real confessions, shocking betrayals, and ex-drama only on Ex Confessions Unlocked.